Welcome back, optimistic ladies and gentlemen, to another Wizard Wednesday challenge episode in this Pokémon TCG Online series. Every Wednesday I create a deck from scratch without any testing, then I take the deck into the versus ladder, play 5 battles with it and see how many wins I can get out of 5 matches. I also give away 5 booster packs each Wednesday. Stay tuned for the booster pack contest at the end of the deck analysis if you want to take part in that contest. Today I'm gonna be creating and playing with a Mew Mill deck, Mew Durant Mill. That is what it's going to be. If you want to see me create this deck from scratch, click the video annotation on the top right of the screen or click the link in the description. In that video, I guide you through my thought process in creating this Mew Durant Mill deck. If that is nothing for you, if you would rather see the short version of the deck analysis or the battles themselves, then stay on this video because we are going to dive right into the deck analysis right here. Let's start off by taking a look at Mew, the main attacker of the deck, with the Memories of Dawn ability. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any of your basic Pokemon in play. We still need the necessary energy to use each attack. We are going to use this ability to copy the attacks from the Durant from the BREAKpoint expansion, and specifically the Scrape Down attack for a grass and a colorless energy. We discard the top 4 cards of our opponent's deck if, and this is a big if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it. So if you are copying this attack with Mew, Mew needs to have some damage counters on it if you want to discard those top 4 cards of our opponent's deck. And we definitely want to do that because the goal of this deck is going to be to deck out our opponent, to discard all of the cards from my opponent's deck until he decks out. That is our one and only win condition. One of the main reasons why we are combining Durant with Mew is because Mew can make use of Dimension Valley. 4 copies of Dimension Valley in this deck. Each Psychic Pokemon's attacks cost 1 colorless less. So if we want to copy the Scrape Down attack from Durant with our Mew, we only need to have a single Grass energy attached, which is fantastic because that means whenever our Mew gets knocked out, we can just promote another Mew and attach a single energy to get going with the Scrape Down once again. Without the Mew, we would be forced to power up another Durant, and that actually takes us 2 turns, which can be really annoying to do, certainly in this very fast format that we have nowadays. So having that combination of Dimension Valley with Mew might or will possibly allow us to keep up with our opponent, to keep those Scrape Downs going so that we can deck out our opponent before our opponent knocks out 6 of our Pokemon, because that is what our opponent has to do if he wants to take the game against Mew Durant. We don't run any EXs, we don't run any Shamans for draw support. Instead, I run a 1-1 Octillery line for draw support, as well as 4 Ends in combination with 2 Sycamores. I also run some Pokemon search cards like the Bridget, 2 copies of Bridget and Level Ball to find our Mews and to find our Durants. So Bridget and Level Ball will help us with that, as well as the encounter attack from the Mew itself. Search our deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into our hand and shuffle our deck afterwards for a single colorless energy. So if we have Dimension Valley in play, we can encounter for free without any energy attached to Mew. Look for our Durant, bench that Durant, in the next turn attach an energy, a Rainbow energy to our Mew so that we can hit for the Scrape Down. Why a Rainbow energy? Rainbow energy is going to fulfill the last condition that we need to be able to discard energies from our opponent's deck with the Scrape Down, and that is having damage on the Durant or on the Mew itself. This Rainbow energy provides that damage because if we attach it to our Mew, we are forced to put 1 damage counter on the Mew, and we actually like that a lot since that allows us to finally use the Scrape Down for just 1 single energy. This Rainbow energy does all of that for us. This Rainbow energy is one of the most important cards in this deck, and that's also why I run 4 Puzzles of Time to get back Rainbow energy from our discard pile if our Mew got knocked out, for example, but also to get back Dimension Valleys. We can get out those puzzles using Teammates, 2 copies of Teammates if one of our Pokemon got knocked out, and they sure will because they have such a low HP, 70 HP for Durant, 50 HP for Mew, as well as 60 HP for Bunnelby. I'll get into Bunnelby later on. So our Pokemon will definitely get knocked out at some point. We can then Teammates for a Rainbow energy and a Stadium, or if they are in the discard pile, we can Teammates for 2 puzzles and then puzzle for a Rainbow energy, as well as the Dimension Valley to get them back into our hands, play them down, attach the Rainbow energy to Mew and hit for Scrape Down once again. Now, besides draw support, besides recovery for energies, and besides the Pokemon themselves, I also run some disruption cards to slow down our opponent a little bit. One of them is Listener, 2 copies of Listener to Listener out a big fat Pokemon, get it stuck in the active spot, and hopefully stall that way, force our opponent to find some way to retreat that Pokemon while we discard cards from his deck with a scrape down attack with our Mew. Then we also have 1 copy of Team Fly Grunt to discard energies attached to our opponent's active Pokemon, 1 Xerosic to discard special energies like DCEs, and to discard tool cards like a Floatstone so that we can Listener out a Pokemon in the next turn, for example, and get it stuck in the active spot. Then I also play 4 Crushing Hammers to discard our opponent's energies, slow him down in attacking our Pokemon, in attacking our Durants and our Mews, as well as 1 Enhanced Hammer to discard those special energies, those DCEs, in addition to our Xerosic. Then let's talk about the 2 Pokemon that I have not discussed yet. One of them is Durant from the Flashfire expansion. This Durant has the chip off attack. Discard cards from your opponent's hand at random until he or she has 4 cards in his or her hand. This card can be very useful. This Durant can be very useful at the start of the game, for example. If we fail to get out a Rainbow Energy, for example, if we only drew into normal Grass Energy, I do run 2 basic Grass Energies just to increase our chances of drawing into some energies, and also to allow us to pay for retreat cost at some point, since this Durant does have a 1 retreat cost, so we can attach a Grass Energy, retreat into a Mew with a Rainbow Energy attached to it, for example. But we can also just attach these Grass Energies to this Durant at the start of the game to discard some cards from our opponent's hand. That way, this is also useful later on in the game if our opponent has a huge hand size and we want to deal with that huge hand size. If we don't have an N in our hand, for example, to reshuffle our opponent's hand, we can chip off some cards. For example, if my opponent went for a Sycamore, he has 7 cards left, passes the turn, we can chip off 3 cards. That is not too shabby, just for a single energy. Then I also have 2 copies of Bunnelby. Bunnelby kinda acts like a puzzle of time with the Rototiller attack, allowing us to shuffle back cards from our discard pile into our deck. Unfortunately, it does not put them into our hands. That would be just fantastic, but shuffling them back into our deck is still awesome because we can shuffle things back like the Rainbow Energy or the Dimension Valley or even the Durants themselves, all those important pieces of the puzzle that we need. We can also use Bunnelby to burrow, discard the top card of our opponent's deck and burrow twice in 1 turn thanks to the Omega Barrage trait of the Bunnelby. Or we can just copy the attacks from Bunnelby with Mew, use the Memories of Down ability to copy a Burrow or a Rototiller for free if we have the Dimension Valley in play. So a great backup mill Pokemon or a great backup Pokemon to shuffle back resources into our deck. This Bunnelby kind of makes this deck whole, kind of makes this deck complete. All that's left now is to discuss the Escape Rope and 2 more tool cards. Escape Rope is here to retreat out of the Bunnelby if it was Listener out, or the Octillery, because both of them have a 2 retreat cost and we never ever want to pay for that with our valuable Rainbow Energies. So Escape Rope is going to be our savior there. And then we also have 1 Floatstone for the same reason, to retreat that Octillery or those Bunnelbys. And finally, 1 Headringer as the last disruption card. I forget to talk about this card when I mentioned the disruption cards. When attached to an EX Pokemon, this card increases the attack cost of the EX Pokemon by a colorless energy, possibly allowing us to buy ourselves a turn. And I think that is it. We have arrived at the end of the deck analysis. This is the list I'm going to be playing with today in the Versus Ladder. Before we go into the Versus Ladder, however, I'm going to be giving away some booster packs, 5 booster packs. Today is going to be 5 Breakpoint booster packs. What do you have to do to be eligible to win some of these booster packs? All you've got to do is comment down below. Let me know if there's anything at all that you would change about this deck list. If, for example, you think I should have included a card that I did not include, just let me know, write it up, explain to me why, and I will pick the 2 comments that appeal to me the most. Then, On my upcoming Fun Fridays video, I will feature those 2 comments, and you Karptastic ladies and gentlemen will get to vote on the comments. The comment that comes out on top will receive 3 BREAKpoint booster packs. The runner-up commenter will receive 2 BREAKpoint booster packs. That also means that if you are watching this video after the 24th of June 2016, when my Fun Fridays video will be released, you don't really have to bother entering the contest anymore, because the contest will be closed then, unfortunately. Just watch out for another Wizard Wednesday video of mine where there will be some more contests for you, and that is going to be it for this contest. I am going to find myself 5 fresh opponents in a versus ladder to see if I can pull off some wins with this Mew Durant Bunnelby mill deck. Leave a like, don't forget to leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the upcoming battles. It is much appreciated, and I will see you there. Our first opponent of the day is going to be No Mercy 01, and oh my goodness, herpaderp, I just played 4 matches, but I wasn't recording. I just checked my recording and I didn't press the recording button. I cannot believe it. I played 4 freaking matches and they were so nice. It was against Night March, it was against Mega Manectric, it was against Charizard. I actually won against Night March, I won against Mega Manectric, I lost against Charizard, and then I won against Greninja Break. But the last one, the win against Greninja Break, was because my opponent conceded, so it doesn't really count, I guess. But those matches, oh my goodness, the Night March match and the Mega Manectric match, as well as the Charizard match, they were so nice. I facepalmed so hard when I noticed I wasn't recording. Let's just hope we can get some more great matches here. Looks like we're up against Darkrai Yveltal. We do start off with a Mew there, so all we need is a Durant from this level ball, and as well as a Dimension Valley and an energy. We do have the Sycamore here. The Sycamore to try to find the energy as well as the Dimension Valley. The hammer fails. Let's put this Floatstone on the Bunnelby. Unfortunately, we'll have to discard the Puzzle of Time here. Out of curiosity, I'm just gonna look what would be top deck. Seeker, Level Ball, and Bridget. Alright. Seeker, Level Ball, and Bridget wasn't too bad. So we will Sycamore. Try to find an energy. Please tell me we can get an energy. We did not get an energy. We do get the Remoraid as well as the Durant there. So I'm going to actually retreat here, retreat into my Bunnelby. I don't want my opponent to damage the Mew yet. So we'll retreat into the Bunnelby and we will end our turn. I'm gonna keep the Level Ball for the next turn to find our Octillery, and then I'll probably go for another Sycamore. Discard, maybe not. I want to keep this Bunnelby in my deck probably. Maybe not. But I want to draw through my deck. I need to find my energy, so maybe I should go with the Sycamore. Oh no, 0-6 discards our Floatstone, the one and only Floatstone we had. Oh no, who would have expected a 0-6? I surely did not expect it. Can we get a Dimension Value right here? We get Enhanced Hammer. Enhanced Hammer is not useful, and Teammates. Puzzle of Time, nothing useful there. So I'm going to use my Level Ball to get the Octillery out. There's the Octillery, and then I will draw into one more card with this Octillery, because we are going to Sycamore, which means we will most likely not be able to bring our hand down below 5 cards after the Sycamore. Oh no, we get another Seeker. Well, I'll have to discard this Seeker, unfortunately. Very, very unfortunate. We'll have to discard it. So we have used one Seeker. We are going to discard another one. I don't want to give my opponent a fresh hand here. He seems to be stuck with a dead hand. And there is an energy. We do get an energy. We also get a Crushing Hammer. Good, good, good. Let's... Oh no, another Tails. I might as well burrow here with my Bunnelby. I'm gonna burrow once, and I'm going to Rototiller once as well. So we are going to burrow one card of Seeker, and then we are going to Rototiller, shuffle back this Bunnelby into our deck. Maybe the Puzzle instead. Let's shuffle back the Puzzle into our deck actually. And then we can always puzzle for a Bunnelby. So now we have hopefully 4 puzzles in the deck. I didn't really check. Maybe I should have put a Seeker back in the deck as well. If we get knocked out, we can teammates for a Rainbow Energy, or maybe 2 puzzles. Probably just a Rainbow Energy. There's a knockout Opponent takes the first prize of the game. Still has 43 cards left. Oh boy, this is going to be a long game. Alright then, alright. Let's teammates here. We get a puzzle. I can teammates for an energy and a puzzle. I can do that. So we'll get an energy. How many energies do we have? We have 3 energies. How many puzzles do we have? 3 puzzles and 1 in our hand. So 4 puzzles total. Let's grab a puzzle. And then we shall attach the energy. I'm not yet going to use the puzzles. I'm going to wait until the next turn. You never know, my opponent might counter the stadium. We will hit for the scrape down right here. I could actually use my Octillery as well. Thin out my deck a little bit here. We'll grab another Mew, bench another Mew, thin out our deck some more. And then fill up our hand. For 1 card, draw 1 card from the Octillery. What is it? What can we get? A Zero Seek, excellent. Alright, scrape down it is. Can we discard some energies maybe? An energy and 2 Sycamores. Yes, we did discard some draw supporters from my opponent. That really reduces his chances of drawing into his draw supporters. 2 Sycamores. That's fun. Oh, and he top decks another Sycamore. Alright. Well, at least he's drawing through his deck a little bit there. Our Mew should stay alive unless my opponent finds a Muscle Band. This counters the stadium. That's exactly what I was expecting, max Elixir. So we will probably puzzle for the stadium. Maybe for the energy as well if the Mew gets knocked out. There is a Zoroark. We could see a stand-in at some point. Maybe right now a stand-in with a DCE attached to the Zoroark. That would be a knockout on our Mew. But no, just an Oblivion Wing. And we actually get knocked out because of the stadium. Ah, that's annoying. We actually get knocked out because of that stadium counter. Takes another energy, another prize, down to 4 prizes. I think we are going to lose this game. Unless we license out the Malamar or something. Unless we can find a listener. I could listener right here. I could via Seeker for teammates and then teammates for a listener. And I think I will. I'm going to teammates for a listener for the next turn. So we can listener out the Malamar. Hopefully stall. Let's grab a listener. Yeah, listener. And maybe the last puzzle in our deck, because we have 4 puzzles right there. So we will then puzzle for an energy from our discard pile, as well as the stadium. We need both the energy and the stadium, so we can attack this turn for the scrape down, discard some more cards. Yes, that's going to be our play. And at least we get to counter that stadium. Hopefully my opponent doesn't counter it once again. And then our Mew should stay alive. We'll grab the Durant as well. Might as well grab the Durant. Bench it and then use our Octillery to draw some more. 1 more card from the Octillery. And what can we get? An N. And that's good. An N is definitely good. So scrape down. Discard 4 more cards. And there's a Floatstone. We discard a Floatstone. 2 Floatstones in the discard pile. Yes, my opponent won't have any Floatstones to put onto the Zoroark, I think. DCE on the Zoroark. And an N from my opponent himself. Oh no, he's going to shuffle back the Listener into our deck. So I think we'll see a stand-in from the Zoroark. I think we'll see a stand-in. There's a Zoroark break. Too bad, too bad. We will get knocked out here. We will get knocked out. Yep, this is going to be a tough game for us. Can we maybe get a listener from this Trainer's Mail? Can we find our listener from the Trainer's Mail? There is another Dimension Valley. I'm going to try to discard this DCE, and we do flip heads, so we will discard the DCE. We'll also attach an energy to the Mew. How many Mews are in the discard pile? 2 Mews. We actually need to shuffle back some Mews. There's a Crushing Hammer. Or via Seeker. I'm gonna grab the Crushing Hammer. Try to discard an energy to the Darkrai, possibly. Or maybe just the Yveltal. Let's discard an energy to the Darkrai. Force our opponent to attach another energy to that Darkrai, and then we can teammates for the Listener once more. We could teammates right here for the Listener, or just 2 puzzles and get back some Mews with the puzzles. We need some more Mews, so I'm gonna grab the puzzles. And then we are going to take a look here. A Mew or a Bunnelby? I think we have enough energy. No, actually we need another energy as well. Because we only have 3 rainbow energy. One is in play, one in our hands, and one in a discard pile. So I'm gonna grab a Mew and a rainbow energy. I could also grab a Bunnelby, but we really need to use our scrape downs. If we don't use our scrape downs, we are never going to stand a chance at winning this game. Then let's use our Octillery, Abyssal Hand from the Octillery. Can we maybe find a Listener? No, just another N. So scrape down it is. Scrape down 4 more cards. Bring my opponent down to 20 cards. 2 more energy, hit the discard pile. That is fantastic. 3 energy and a DCE in the discard pile. I think my opponent runs some more DCEs, that's for sure. An energy on the Darkrai. And an N. At least my opponent won't be able to stand in and retreat this turn, because his Zoroark is stuck in the active spot. We get an energy, we get a Zero Seek, an N, and just a pass of the turn. We bought ourselves a turn. I cannot believe it. We bought ourselves a turn. I'm going to attach this energy to my Mew. Do I need to do anything here? I kind of want to dig for my Listener. I could teammate for... well, I cannot teammate. I might just end once more. Yes, I think I will end once more, try to find my Listener. I know we are down to 16 cards, but we are using our scrape down, so we should be able to deck out our opponent before we deck ourselves out. And we do not find the Listener. We do find the Zero Seek, the Team Flagrant, Enhanced Hammer. That's definitely good, so we'll just scrape down once more, hopefully discard some more energies right there. A DCE and another DCE. We discarded 2 more DCEs. Oh! That was such a good scrape down. That was a fantastic scrape down. We actually stand a chance now. VN Seeker for Sycamore. Yes, he's going to Sycamore. That is actually superb. I cannot believe we are seeing a Sycamore right here. Is he going to find his 4th DCE? No, just an energy. Might see a scrape down from our opponent. And that is going to make things interesting here. That is going to make things interesting. Nope. Just let me read the foul play. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So no scrape down. Oh no, wait, he cannot do that because what was I saying? Oh man, I was mixing things up there. He can only use the encounter. He cannot use the scrape down. He cannot copy the ability. He can only copy our attacks. So he could only use the encounter, which is fantastic. We'll discard that energy right there, and then we'll attach to our Durant, so we can potentially attack with the Durant at some point. And then another scrape down for victory! A scrape down for victory! We managed to take the game against Darkrai, Yveltal. Oh! I was not expecting that. This is another great match. This is exactly like the matches I played before against Mega Manectric and Night March. Man, this deck is so nail-biting sometimes. This deck is not good for my heart. I tell you what, this deck is not good for my heart. No MVP, no damage dealt. 260 from my opponent, dealt 260 to us. Zoroark, break, MVP. We are never going to have an MVP except if we attack with the Mountain Munch from the Durant. That can happen sometimes. Then Durant will be the MVP, but typically we don't have an MVP. Let's see if we can find ourselves a second opponent. And our second opponent is Necro Flame with a fighting and a colorless deck. Fighting decks are typically not very fast, so I'm not sure how this is going to go for us. We get to go first. Do we want to go first? I kind of want to set up, but I'm afraid my opponent will knock us out in his first turn. I'm going to take a gamble and go first here. We need to find some energies. Oh, we actually get an energy right there. And we also get the Mew, which is fantastic. So we'll put the Mew in the active spot. We will look for a Durant with his level ball. And we'll also bench the Bunnelby. I might just have to retreat into the Bunnelby. Potentially let it get knocked out. But my opponent starts off with a Machop, so we are not really in any danger of getting knocked out in the next turn. And we top deck the Dimension Valley. Wow. This is actually a pretty nice hand. Unfortunately, no draw supporter. If only this listener was a draw supporter, I'm going to attach this Fighting Fury Belt to my Mew. You never know what could happen here. Strong energy and a muscle band. That would actually be a knockout, so we will attach that Fighting Fury Belt, and I'm going to... Do I want to risk an N? No, I'm going to attach this special energy. I don't think my opponent is going to play an enhanced hammer straight away. And we will end our turn right there. I'm not going to bench the stadium. I am definitely going to keep the stadium in my hand until the next turn. My opponent can counter the stadium, and that would be detrimental for us. Puzzle of Time. Wow. He must not have a very good hand if he uses his Puzzle of Time straight away. There's a strong energy and a muscle band. Wow, he actually strong energied and muscle banded that Machop. Is going to knock out our Bunnelby. I cannot believe that just happened. He's actually going to attack with the Machop. Wow. Well, it didn't really matter after all that I attached this Fighting Fury Belt, because he is going to knock out our Bunnelby, which is slightly annoying. We might just Lysander out the Shaman. We don't really have anything else to do. We can enhance Crushing Hammer that special energy, or that strong energy. Hopefully we can flip heads on the Crushing Hammer. Knuckle Punch for the knockout for 100 damage with a Machop. Who would have thought that? I didn't see that coming. Well, I kinda did, but I wasn't expecting it. Oh, we get an N. Nonetheless, I think I will still go with the Lysander and the hammer here. Let's see. Ooh, we cannot discard it. With another strong energy, my opponent is hitting for 70, which is actually a knockout on a Mew. But I will risk it. I will risk it. My opponent needs to find a Float Stone or a Switch and a strong energy at the same time to knock out our Mew in the next turn, and I think that's not too easy here. So we will scrape down, discard some cards from my opponent's deck, get going here. What do we discard? Another puzzle and a Lysander. That's 3 puzzles in the discard pile already. It looks like my opponent is playing Garchomp. Garchomp combined with Machamp. Trainer's Mail. Trainer's Mail is going to look for a Korrina maybe, or an Ultra Ball for a Shaman. There is the Korrina. He does get the Korrina. He could Korrina for a Switch right here. Does he have the strong energy? Or is he just going to attach to the Shaman? I think he will find a Switch or an Escape Rope, something like that. Escape Rope are Durant into the active spot, possibly, which is a little bit annoying. I think he will get out a Gibble. Yeah, there's a Gibble and a Rare Candy. He does not get his Switch. Does he have a Switch in his hand? Does he have an energy in his hand? He does have an energy, but he attaches to the Gibble. He is going to let us get off another Scrape Down without damaging us, which is fantastic. I did not see that coming. I think that's a slight misplay. My opponent should have pressured us here and tried to attack us with that Machop. He doesn't really need Garchomp or Gibble in this matchup, so we are going to go for an N, shuffle back that Rare Candy and the Garchomp in my opponent's deck. We get a Remoraid, we also get a Bridget. Don't really need a Bridget at this point, so I'm probably going to go for an N in the next turn, and we will just scrape down here, get rid of 4 more cards from my opponent's deck. And what can we get rid of? An Energy, a Pokemon Center Lady, and a Garchomp. I want to get rid of his energies. That's all I care about. Discard his energies. That's all I want to do. When he's out of energies, he is done for. He probably only plays like 1 Super Rod, maybe 2, you never know, but probably not too many. I don't think he plays Fisherman. I would be quite surprised if he did. So if we can discard his energies, we should be safe. And we have some more hammers in our deck as well as a Team Frag Grunt, so we can deal with the energies that my opponent's attached to his active Pokemon. There's a Korrina for a Switch and a Garchomp. This time around, he is going to attack us here. He is not going to let us get off another Scrape Down with the Mew in the active spot. However, I think no, we won't stay alive. We'll get hit for 100 damage with that Garchomp. There's a switch into the Gabite, but he doesn't bring out the Garchomp. I thought he had a Rare Candy, but he does not. He just evolved into the Gabite. It kind of escaped me there, that he evolved into Gabite and not into Garchomp, so we do actually stay alive. Wow, we actually stay alive once more. And we top deck an N. Fantastic. Let's promote that Shaman once again here. Let's promote it once again. Buy ourselves another turn, force our opponent to attach to the Shaman and discard an energy. That way we will scrape down. It's a little bit risky. Maybe I should have looked for another rainbow energy. There is an energy retrieval, so that's good. He plays energy retrieval. He doesn't play super odd. Plays energy retrieval instead, it seems. Counters the stadium. We have the counter stadium in our hands. That's another reason why I wanted to keep this hand to counter the stadium once more. Does he have another Corina, or will we see a pass of the turn? If we do, we actually have a really good chance at taking this game, as long as we can keep our Mews going, as long as we can stream our Mews, because my opponent is down to 21 cards. All we need to do is 4 more scrape downs, and there it is. There is the concede from my opponent. He gives up against Mew Durant Mill. Wow, another win. Another win. That is the second win out of these 5 matches that we are going to play, and actually the 4th win. No, wait, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th win out of 6 matches I have played with this deck, taking into account the matches that I played earlier without pressing the recording button, because there was such a Magikarp there. Completely forgot. Completely forgot. And our next opponent is Paranoid Demon with a colorless fighting and a darkness deck. Let's go for a heads. We lost the coin flip. We will probably have to go second. Try to set up second as well. Yes, my opponent goes first. And what do we start off with? We have a Rainbow Energy. We have the Mew. We have level balls for Durant. We actually have everything we need except for the stadium. Can we get a draw supporter? Can we get a draw supporter to draw into the stadium? That's all we need. My opponent starts off with the Shaman. That's really good. Forces my opponent to find a switch or a floatstone or something like that. Trainer's Mail. We see the Darkrai. Darkrai. Is this again Darkrai? We see Yveltal. This is not a Darkrai, obviously, but I was wondering if this is again Darkrai. But then again, what is the fighting type? Because we did see the fighting type during the loading screen. I wonder what the fighting typing might be. Maybe he plays Scarbink to stall, something like that. Oh, probably Yveltal Gallade. That's what this is. This is probably Yveltal Zoroark Gallade or something like that. Ultra Ball is go. Oh, wow, this card's a DCE and a Lysander. That's dangerous against Mew Durant. But he might think this is Night March, actually. He might think this is Night March. There's the Yveltal. Benches the Yveltal. Can he pull off a turn 1 Maxis to get the Gallade onto his bench? Or will we see a pass of the turn, an energy onto the baby Yveltal, and a pass of the turn? That's it. Wow. That's it. Not a very good turn for my opponent. We top deck Team Frag runs. That's not really what we wanted to see. I'm going to get out the Durant here. Let's get out the Durant, and then we are going to bridge it. I'm going to keep 1 level ball for the Octillery for the next turn, so I'm going to bridge it for a Remoraid. I did see the Remoraid was in the deck. We'll also grab a Mew, and we will also grab another Durant, I think. I'm gonna leave the Bunnelbys in my deck for now. No need for the Bunnelbys at the moment. And then we will attach to the Mew on our bench and guide our top deck with this Puzzle of Time. An N, a Teammates, and another energy. Well, I am definitely going to go for the N here. How long have I played? How long have I played? Good question. I actually don't know. I have no idea. I made this account definitely more than 2 years ago. I actually don't know indeed. That's a good question. There's a DCE. We might see who is going to knock out our Mew. Are you kidding me? My Mew is going to get knocked out here by the Sky Return. That is so unfortunate. That is really, really unfortunate. He does. He's going to promote the baby Yveltal. I might just Team Flag runs away the energy if we can get a stadium from the Octillery. Yeah, we'll have to hope that we can get a stadium from the 2 cards that we are going to draw from the Octillery here. Or I could Escape Rope into a Durant, but why would I do that? I'm just going to Abyssal Hand for 2 cards, hope that I get the stadium, and then we can use the Team Flag Grunt. Bunnelby, we do get the stadium, that's actually pretty lucky, as well as a Bunnelby, so let's bench this Bunnelby. And then let's discard the energy attached to the Yveltal. Hope that my opponent doesn't find a Muscle Band or a Counter Stadium. And we will hit for the Scrape Down, discard the first 4 cards here with the Scrape Down attack. Can we discard some more energies? Yes, we discard at least 1 more energy. We did discard 1 more energy and a Zoroark break. Alrighty. Hopefully we can discard the Zoroarks as well. There's the Muscle Band and a Battle Compressor. Oh, please tell me he does not have another energy. Those Muscle Bands, they are so annoying. They really make life tough on us. Discards Gallade, Sycamore. Will we see the Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick? A Shaman, he's going to dig for his energies with that Shaman, as well as his draw supporters. Fingers crossed here, fingers crossed. And there's the energy, we will see the knockout. I'm going to promote my Bunnelby then. It will have to be the Bunnelby until we can find some more Mews. Maybe we can find a Mew from the Octillery, from the draw with the Octillery. A Mew and an energy, that's all we need. Or some puzzles. Some puzzles is good as well. Then we can recycle the energy and a Mew from the discard pile. Is my opponent going to draw any more? No, just an Oblivion Wing for 50, which is a knockout. And he's going to accelerate onto the Yveltal. Kind of want to Listener out the other Yveltal then. We will promote the Bunnelby. Burrow twice, probably in the next turn, burrow twice. The Bunnelby should stay alive. Oh no, he gets Enhanced Hammer. That's not what we wanted to see. So we will use our Octillery here. We could find the teammates as well. That would do it as well. We don't have teammates in our discard pile. We do get this Durant. I will bench this Durant. And we will have to end here. Yep, and it is. Give ourselves 6 fresh cards. Maybe we can get some hammers. There's a hammer and another Bunnelby. No energies for us. No energies for us. So the hammer will have to save us here. And it's a Tails. Never mind. The hammer doesn't save us. Let's end our turn. This Bunnelby is going to get attacked for 50 damage. Possibly 60 if my opponent benches the stadium, and he does put the stadium down. This is going to be another knockout. I think this is going to be GG here. Those first 3 turns really screwed us over. Well, the last 2 turns actually. The last 2 turns screwed us over big time. This one here with the stadium, and the previous one where my opponent knocked out the Mew. Oh man. We will promote this Durant with a chip off. At least that Durant should be able to buy us a turn. Then we'll counter the stadium. Bench a Bunnelby, and I am going to Sycamore actually. I am going to Sycamore. We need to discard some cards. Another Durant. We get a level ball for a Mew possibly. There is the last Mew. I will I attach to the Mew, or will I go for a chip off? The chip off doesn't really do anything at the moment, so I'm just going to go for the Mew. Yes, let's attach an energy to the Mew, and then we will use this Puzzle of Time to guide our top deck because we are stuck with a dead hand. Teammates, excellent. Let's actually do it this way. Let's get the Crushing Hammer in the next turn, unless we see a retreat. Will my opponent retreat into the Yveltal? It's possible, it's possible. So I'm going to go for the hammer and then the teammates. I'm going to guess my opponent won't knock out the Durant in the next turn. We will top deck a hammer, and then we will teammates in a turn after that when our Durant gets knocked out. That's when we will use the teammates, and that should allow us to get off 2 scrape downs at the very least in this game. 2 more scrape downs, which is 10 cards. And then we need to hope our opponents helps us a little bit by drawing through his deck with Sycamores. Seeker for Listener is going to Listener out the Bunnelby, I think. Oh man, he is going to Lysander out. The Mew is going to Lysander out Mew. Are you freaking kidding me? He gets another knockout right there. We are really, really unlucky in this game. Well, that is basically GG, because now my opponent will take his 4th prize. He only needs to take 2 more, and he has 31 cards left. I don't see how we are going to come back from that. Benches another baby Yveltal. Our only hope is a Lysander stall tactic. That's our only hope. Lysander stall the Yveltal on my opponent's bench there, or a baby Yveltal. And that's what we need to hope for. Can we get a Lysander somehow? I am going to promote. Let's promote the Durant. Let's promote one of our Durants. And let's attach an energy to our Durant as well. There is the hammer. Kinda wish I had top decked the teammates right now. But we can still get it with our Octillery. So we'll discard an energy to the baby Yveltal. We'll bench another Durant. And then we will Octillery for the teammates. Teammates for a special energy. We get another Crushing Hammer. And yeah, I'm gonna Crushing Hammer here. Discard an energy to the Yveltal if we can. We cannot. I'm gonna put a Floatstone on the Octillery, and then I'm going to teammates for a Lysander as well as a special energy. Do we have any more puzzles? We don't have any more puzzles. 2 puzzles seem to be prized, so we need to work with the things that we have, which is the 2 rainbow energies that we have left. That should be sufficient, because my opponent already has taken 4 prizes. So he only needs to take 2 more prizes. Then it's time to hit for the Mountain Munch for 10 damage. Discard 1 card. It is a Trainer's Mail. Can my opponent find another energy or some way to retreat this baby Yveltal? The Floatstone is not going to help him. He needs to bench a Zoroark. He actually discards the Zoroark. He could stand in with the Zoroark, but he does not decide to do that. And there is a Maxis Hidden Ball Trick is going to get out the Gallade, and then the Gallade can help my opponent to dig for the cards that he needs, like a switch with the Premonition. Hopefully my opponent doesn't find that switch or the Escape Rope in this turn. There is the Premonition. There is the Premonition. We will go for a Scrape Down in the next turn, or maybe we should Rototiller. I'm not sure. Could always Rototiller back some puzzles or some hammers. Maybe try to hammer all my opponent's energy. There's only 1 energy in the discard pile though, only 1. So he definitely has some more energies. Probably has something like 8 Darkness Energy and 3 or 4 DCEs. Or maybe even 9 Darkness Energy. I'm quite surprised we haven't seen any Max Elixirs yet. No Max Elixirs in my opponent's deck, it seems. And it seems like my opponent is also having some trouble deciding what to put on the top of his deck here. Yeah, it seems like he doesn't really know what to do there. That's one hell of a long Premonition right there. That makes me wonder, should we actually Lysander in the next turn? Because for now, the baby Yveltal is stuck there. Unless we see an energy attachment, I think I will keep my Lysander in hand. There's a Sycamore. We haven't used a single VN Seeker. Let's see, I'm going to attach this to my Durant. And I think I'm not going to Sycamore, I'm just going to use my Octillery. I don't really want to discard the Dimension Valleys. If anything, I want to use an N. Ooh, Fighting Fury Belt. Don't mind if I do. Let's attach that Fighting Fury Belt. And yeah, I don't think I will do anything else here. We'll just hit for the Scrape Down, 4 more cards, bring my opponent down to 20 cards. An energy in the discard pile, a Zoroark and an Ultra Ball. Only 1 energy though. Would have loved to see some more energies in those 4 cards. There's a DCE, and we will see the retreat right now into the Yveltal. There is the retreat. That means we need to Lysander in the next turn. Trainer's Mail. This Yveltal is hitting for 80 damage. Which I think is not enough. No, we should stay alive unless we see a Muscle Band. Now it's 90 damage. We should still stay alive. Does my opponent find the Muscle Band? Premonition. No Muscle Band yet. No Muscle Band as of yet. I think my opponent premonitioned that DCE there. I think that's what happened there with the previous premonition. Oh man. I think he does not have the Muscle Bands. How many Muscle Bands could he play? Probably something like 2, maybe 3. 2 Muscle Bands and Fighting Fury Belts. 2 Muscle Bands or 2 Fighting Fury Belts. Nope, just an Yveltal and wait, 130. Oh yeah, I forgot to count my own energies. I was counting the Yveltal's energies. Herp-a-derp, I forgot to count my own energies. Oh man, this is troublesome. Yeah, that was definitely a knockout. Headringer, might as well Headringer this Yveltal. And well, no, I should not have done that. That was a mistake. I should have Headringered that Yveltal there on the bench. That was a very big mistake. Very, very big mistake. I am going to Lysander out the Yveltal on the bench there, and I'm going to have to pass my turn. Very unfortunate. Use the Abyssal Hand as well, might as well. Draw into 2 more cards. What can we get? A Via Seeker and a Counter Stadium. I'm going to counter the Stadium. That way the Yveltal doesn't hit for a knockout on our Octillery. If my opponent can retreat the Yveltal in the active spot, and we will pause the turn. Pause the turn to my opponent. Does my opponent have another DCE? Can he find... There's a DCE. There's another DCE. He's going to retreat back into that Yveltal. Yeah, it was a real mistake. It was a real mistake not attaching that Team Flare Hyper Gear to the Yveltal on my opponent's bench. But it wouldn't have mattered because my opponent could have still retreated with the DCE. And there is a knockout on our Bunnelby. That is a loss for us. Oh... As expected, we saw a loss there. I don't think there was anything I could have done to prevent that loss with the cards that I had in this game. I think we were just too unlucky there with our draws. Or actually, we had pretty good draws, but I think our opponent was lucky with his draws. With that Muscle Band, with that Stadium, to knock out our Pokemon one after another. And there it is, there is the Durant MVP. I did make a few mistakes there, that's definitely true, but I don't think they influenced the outcome of the game. Let's see if we can find ourselves our 4th opponent. The 4th opponent of the day is Breno Gleisner with a colorless and a psychic deck. Possibly Trevenant Break, and that is a huge problem for us, Trevenant Break. Because Trevenant Break very easily knocks out our Bunnelbys, our Durants, and our Mews.
Karp, 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 Karp.